En junker red ved juletid.
Ching chang ching lutilej.
Omkring ham dannede sneen hvid.
Ching chang ching lutilej.
We're starting with the topic of the episode show, so you guys can weigh in and start the conversation rolling as we start talking about the news. Every single week, we give you a topic that is the topic of the week, and then give you a chance to talk to us about what your favorites of that is, and then we talk about what our favorites of that thing is.
So our topic of the episode show for this week is in-game items.
Yes.
And so we're going to be talking about different things that we like, different creative things. And one of the first responses we have is Jake the Snake. From Twitter says Star Egg from Super Mario RPG because there's nothing better than guaranteed 100 damage to all your enemies even if you're under leveled. And I like stuff like that kind of allows you to hack into do something special in a game if you really know what you're doing. Those are fun and like special hacks, I guess, that are in the game, and it's like
Just checking our sound while we're talking. Yeah.
Okay. But I appreciate that they can give you like an OP item and then be like, use it properly. Like, I like that. And so one of my items is going to be from Final Fantasy VI. No surprise to longtime fans of the show. But the Cursed Shield in Final Fantasy VI is something that you pick up. Like you go into a city and there's an old guy laying on a bed and he's like, man, I'm sick as heck. Take this shield. And you take the shield, and when you have this shield equipped, it has like terrible like lower than nothing stats, and it gives you every status ailment in the game. So you have to be like wearing a ribbon and accept that you have to beat every battle in 50 seconds or less, or else the person with it equipped just dies.
Okay, I've not encountered that.
No, you have
obviously.
But
that's fun.
If you take that item through 255 battles successfully, you uncurse the shield, and it becomes the most powerful shield in the game, and it teaches you Ultima.
Okay,
that's cool.
that is really cool.
It's one of those things that like when you encounter something like that in a game that's weird and doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You're like, I know there's something else here. And so I like the idea of especially back then, before we had, you could just type in the internet, WTF is up with the Cursed Shield.
Yeah.
And you have your answer.
Yeah.
That people were, well, I mean, there's got to be a reason for this, right? And
why would he give me this?
And eventually
there exists.
Yeah. And so I like stuff like that.
I think I also like items that, like you said, they appear to be more than they are. I also like crafting. And a good example of both of those at the same time is the Big Goron sword from Ocarina of Time, which I didn't know. Like I'd beaten Ocarina of Time probably 1.5 times by that time. I was still in was freshman year in high school, and someone mentioned, "Oh, did you get the big sword?" And I'm like, "You're an idiot. It's called the Master Sword." And they're like, "No, there's this other sword." And this was early days of the internet, and I found a page with step by step on how to do it.
And that sword is awesome.
Sword is awesome. Got it, and it took forever to get, but it was really cool to go through that adventure. If you had the strategy guide, it was in there as well, but I didn't have the strategy guide. But I also really like crafting in games. And I feel like that kind of goes into this as well. When you have certain items that allow you to craft, one of the items that came to mind was the Herodric Cube in Diablo
2, yeah.
Because you can, because it works as a crafting element, it works as like a forging element.
And as an eat your equipment.
Yes, eat your equipment, upgrade your gems. Like there's a lot of cool things to it. And it upgrades the gems. It gives you a reason to be hoarding gems, because once you get the Herodric Cube, you just start tossing them in there
and upgrade them and everything.
Yeah,
that was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
And then Chris White also mentioned the Sheepinator from Ratchet and Clank, which turns your enemies into sheep. That's cool. We're about that.
Yeah, I like And I'm glad we've spent, other than the big Goron sword, we've been talking about items, not really weapons, because we could go on about like favorite weapons.
Right, that's
another,
a different category.
That's another topic. But I also like, and I know you do as well, games that give me an item that tells me more about the world. And I think one thing we really like about Dark Souls and those games. And Dark Souls does it very well. It's not the first one to do that, but either with item descriptions or with an item name, or maybe it's just a location. I think that's kind of cool. It gives the world like a lived-in feeling. If you are playing those type of games, that is.
Yeah, and I like the idea because it presents the idea that this is a real world, that these items have history. Yeah. I really like the there's a mask in Neo, and I have crafted every mask that I wore after this to look the same, because you can do that in Neo. It's the boss mask from the demo.
Yes.
It's like this horrible old lady with giant horns, and she's just scary as crap. And so it's really funny because in like cutscenes you'll be wearing that equipment, and so I like going into these like serious battle planning and negotiations,
and you look like a demon
wearing this demon, not only a scary demon but giant, ridiculous and probably really awkward and inconvenient horns. I like the idea of him having to like duck through doors, and that's fun to me.
That's awesome. When you mentioned that, for completely off topic, I just thought of It Follows. Did you see that movie?
No.
Okay. It's good.
That's the one where there's an American one and a not American one?
No. Right? No, It Follows is an independent horror movie. Are you thinking of Let the Right One In?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
good.
Don't watch the American
one. Yeah, don't watch the American one. No, this is an American horror movie, independent movie. Okay. And not spoilers for it. It's the premise in the very like couple first minutes is that that there's this thing that can take any shape, and it keeps and it is going to continue to walk towards you. Okay. If it touches you, you die.
Okay.
Forever, constantly, just at a walking pace.
Okay.
And if it catches up to you, you die.
Okay.
But you can pass it along if you have sex with somebody, and then that person is now following.
Okay. So what about like international travel?
It's gonna do it.
Okay.
It's not human, so it would just be walking, I assume, on or underwater, and eventually get to you.
And it can go through walls and stuff.
Yeah, I assume. It cannot. I don't know if it can. No, it can't, but it'll bash through them.
Okay. So anyway, that's not an in-game item.
It is not. But
okay, so next week's topic is going to be something kind of similar, and we're going to talk about magical spells.
Yes.
Because I love magic builds. That's one of my favorite things. And so tell us about magical spells that you enjoy. Whether they're, because like a lot of the items that we liked are because they're weird or useful in a quirky way.
Yeah.
And so tell us about your favorite magical spells in games, however you interpret that. And we will talk about that with you next week.
Yay!